Surprise! Welcome to Messy Magic. Oh my goodness, it has been too long. Thank you for pressing play on this episode today. If you haven't been here before, my name's Nadee Guy, and Messy Magic is all about accepting, embracing the mess of life and the magic that is available for us all the time, even when we don't know that it's consciously there. But if we just take a moment to turn towards possibility, there's always magic. And what I want to talk today about, this is a really off-the-cuff episode, is normalizing not having our stuff together. I'm not going to swear because I don't normally swear on the podcast, and I want to keep it that way for as long as I can. But I've had a couple of different conversations and experiences lately where I've been reminded that so many of us feel like we don't have it together, or there's some kind of mess in our lives that maybe we're not ashamed of it. Maybe it doesn't go quite that deep, but it makes us uncomfortable. It's something that we don't feel proud of. And maybe we wish it was different. But that I'd say all of us have something that is going on. Maybe it's something with your kids. Maybe it's like an uncomfortable issue in your partnership. Maybe it's something around finances. Could be with work. Could be in the home. Could be with friendships. Maybe it's just a funky feeling that you've got at the moment and you feel alone. And what I want to offer today is that, I want to make it normal. I want to help make it normal for, and I know some people are already doing this. I'm not the only one saying this, but I think it really helps to be reminded as many times and in as many places and by as many voices as possible that everyone's got their stuff. And I've had a couple of conversations lately, particularly with mums. One was with another mum, like a fellow mum, and then another one was actually with a counsellor. And the conversation I had with the counsellor kind of went along the lines of me opening up about some stuff that I've got going on, and she reflecting back to me, just remember you're not the only one. Like, I talk to so many other mums and everyone has something going on. The thing is, no one talks about it. And that just really hit home for me and reminded me that, that's one of the things this podcast is about, is just reassuring you that you don't need to feel alone. You don't need to feel like you're the only person who has some kind of a mess in your life, because we all do. We all have something that we're moving through. And the thing is that we don't always talk about it. Maybe we do talk about it with like a select couple of people, but it's not necessarily open knowledge or like something that we celebrate. And I've got to say, I used to be someone years ago, who was very, very protective of my personal life and really wanted to protect my image and my, not even my image, but just my reputation. But these days, a lot has happened over the past few years, and I've done training and coaching, and I've had personal experiences, and I've been coached, and I've been to therapy, and I am now a person who is very happy, very comfortable sharing my mess. And maybe maybe I go a little bit too far, to be honest, but I've gone the other way, and I feel like it's empowering both to me and also to the people who are receiving it. Because for me, it's there's no shame in this. I'm able to share the mess that I'm experiencing. And it doesn't take away any of my power or pride or love for myself. And the people receiving it can feel into it and be like, wow, I'm not the only one who is experiencing, I don't know, emotions, like activities, issues in my life that are uncomfortable, or maybe like they might start to feel like they can share things themselves. And then I was having a conversation with another mum who, and this is what really triggered me to create this episode, is she was sharing some difficulties she's been having lately with her little one. And I was kind of reflecting back to her that I've got issues as well, and I'm dealing with some stuff too, and this is how I do it. And just having a really open conversation with her. And she was like, wow, thank you for sharing that, because I feel like I'm the only one that's going through this, and I just feel like there's something wrong with me and I've done something wrong. And she just felt alone. And I felt so passionate about sharing with her that she's not alone. Like, you're never the only person going through something. And it's yes, you can feel that way, but like, please remind yourself that that's not the case. Because it isn't. Like, and if you're not having conversations with people, and I'm not saying that you have to have conversations with people about your vulnerabilities at all. What I'm saying is that it's important to remember in some way, like however you remind yourself, that everybody has stuff they're going through. And feeling alone in it is not helpful, because it doesn't make you feel any better. And it also doesn't inspire you to create change if that's what you need to do. And the final thing I wanted to share about this is a practice that I have of expressing my emotions. And this is what I was actually sharing with her, with this other mum who's been having a hard time, is that I went through like a couple of days of really frustrating things happening as well. But I know through my training now in feminine embodiment and coaching, that it's really important that we don't store these emotions in our body. We need to let them be expressed. We need to let our body release this tension that it's collecting from stress, whether it's from things that are happening inside ourselves and thoughts and feelings, or things that are external to us. We need to allow our body to express it, because otherwise it stores up and it will either manifest in physical symptoms of something, or like you'll become so emotionally tense and frustrated that you'll unleash over like a tipping point something that seems really innocuous and small, is suddenly you'll be like really emotional for no apparent reason. Whereas if you let the steam off as it happens, you'll be so much more grounded and calm. And anyway, so to get to my practice, well, it's not really a practice, it's just something that happened recently, and I've done it more than once, is in the car, like in between being in one place and another place, is allowing my body to express what's going on. And for me, in that moment, the one particular like time that I'm thinking of, I was driving and I was crying, and I was making this like animal sound almost, of like not a roar, but like a groan almost, like just allowing it to come through vocally, and just being like, obviously being safe, like, I'm driving, so I can't like close my eyes and thrash my arms around. Maybe I would do that if I was in a safe space at home and I was feeling these things, but I was able to kind of allow some of the steam to escape from the pressure cooker by unleashing these expressions while I was in the car. And I said to this mum, like, I must have, if anyone was looking at me from outside the car, like driving the other way or something, I must have looked like a lunatic. But to be honest, I didn't really care. Yeah, and I don't think anyone was staring at me anyway. Maybe that's because I don't really look into other people's cars. But like, this was important to me. I knew that I had to let this out. And then at the other end of that drive, I was also going for a run. So, physical movement, physical activity, cardio is really good for unleashing those emotions as well. But I just wanted to offer that as a validation if you're feeling like you're going through something and you're feeling alone. The other thing also that I wanted to mention is that as a coach, I have the beautiful privilege of receiving and witnessing women in their most vulnerable moments when they feel safe to share with me. And I've had that reflected back to me a few times lately in client feedback, is that I create really safe, nourishing spaces, and my clients feel safe to share openly with me. And honestly, I think that's probably one of the highest compliments I can receive, because the work that I do is deep work, and if you don't feel safe to explore those depths and to be really honest with yourself and your expression, then you don't get as much from the session. But anyway, what I wanted to say is that I have this beautiful privilege of seeing women in these moments, and as a result of that, I know how many people are going through tough things or have deep feelings that they that are really uncomfortable or really difficult to process or move through. And so I have this unique perspective, like knowing how many people are moving through difficult things right now. And I know before I was a coach and before I used to have like open conversations with friends and people around me, I wouldn't have known. There's no way I could have known that so many people are having a difficult time. And I guess these days we kind of do, we get exposed to some people's inner worlds because of social media and people sharing their honest thoughts and emotions on socials. And so that kind of helps. But sometimes that also can feel a bit disconnected from you, or like a different world to where you are. But I want you to know that there are people around you who are having a tough time. You're not the only one if you are struggling with something. There are so many people at the moment who are, even if it doesn't seem like it. So please just know that you're not alone. That really is the message that I wanted to share today. And I felt called to put on the podcast and just to kind of get back into the swing of the podcast again. So hopefully I'll be back with you again soon. I do have a few other things that I want to record episodes on, but I hope this supports someone today. That's really the intention of this whole podcast, is to just support even just one person. That would just make me so happy. And if that's you, I'd love to hear from you. Like, reach out to me on Instagram. I'm at @NadiGuy. Or you can email me hello@nadiguy.co, and I'll put those links in the show notes. And with that, I will let you get on with your beautiful day. And yeah, I'll be with you again soon. Don't forget to subscribe so you get the next episode. Have a magical day.